Hello, welcome to Web of Stories. My name is Melinda, and today that you're seeing this is Friday, the 5th of July, which means yesterday was the 4th of July. And if you are in the United States, you know that was Independence Day, which is yay, yay, America, USA, USA. So excited about it. Anyway, in honor of that, I decided I would do a USA themed 5 on Friday. Oh, and I probably should have set my timer before I started talking about it. So let me go into my usual spiel and then we'll start the timer. So 5 on Friday was started by Suey at Suey's Book Banter. And each week we do a themed list of 5 books. We don't coordinate. They could be anything. Her videos are slick. Mine is 5 minutes. See if I can do it all in 5 minutes. She is taking a break from it as of today. I don't know. I'm filming this a week out, so she might be back next week. Who knows? But do check out her video because even if she doesn't have a 5 on Friday, she has other fun stuff. So I'm going to set my timer and here we go. Oh, wait. Okay. So today, in honor of Independence Day, I have 5 books to kind of walk through, U.S. history, a mix of fiction and nonfiction. And they probably aren't ones that some of them, well, there's at least one that's kind of a big one in here, but we'll do it. I've organized these chronologically by when they take place. So we're going to start at the beginning and go to something much more recent. And the first one I have is Benjamin Franklin's Bastard by Sally Cabot. It's either going to be either Sally Cabot or Sally Cabot Gunning. She writes a lot of books that are like revolutionary, and this is about Benjamin Franklin's bastard, as if you couldn't tell from the title. He had an illegitimate son. They had quite the relationship, and actually when we got to the American Revolution, his son was a loyalist, and Benjamin Franklin most certainly was not. So this is a novel about that. I found it really interesting. Great sense of place, great sense of history. And my second book is one that you've never heard of. It's called James by Percival Everett. So this is set shortly before the Civil War. And it is inspired by retelling of Huckleberry Finn. I did not like Huckleberry Finn, but I love James. And it's told through Jim's point of view. Who's James? I don't think I need to say much more about it because everybody's talking about it, but that's because it is a fantastic book. And I think it is a very strong book to look at in terms of U.S. history. Now, we're only going to do a little step further into history because James was right before the Civil War, and the next book takes place during the Civil War. And that is a book I read several years ago and loved, and it's called I Shall Be Near to You by Erin Lindsay McCabe. And this is kind of a love story. It's a husband and wife. The husband, they're up in the north somewhere. It's just important. They're in the north. And the husband has to go join the Union Army. And the wife decides to join him by dressing up as a man and fighting in the Union Army. Now, there were a lot of cases in history of women presenting as men to fight in the Civil War. And some of them were sort of transgender issues. This one is not. This is very much she's there with her husband sort of thing. But it's still a very powerful story, very lovely love story. And it just stuck with me. And it's a book I don't hear anything about. So go check that one out. That's I Shall Be Near to You by Erin Lindsay McCabe. Okay. 4 is one. The next 2 are both nonfiction, and this one I've actually talked about quite a bit before because this book made me ugly sob like you wouldn't believe. You think my nose is red now from all the filming? Oh boy, you should have seen me reading this book. And this is Destiny, a Republic. Oh, all right. Let me see if I can remember the whole title. A Tale of Madness, something, and Murder of a President. Anyway, Destiny of the Republic is what you need to know by Candace Millard. And this is about James Garfield, who is my book boyfriend, which is a weird book boyfriend to have. Even I know that. But he was president. Many historians believe that had he lived, he would have been one of our greatest presidents. He was very strange. He didn't want to be president. He accidentally got nominated for president. Like accidentally. He was there to try to get someone else nominated. And this was before they did the primary system. And he one day, and this is before the Secret Service existed, but it was different than it is now. So the president didn't have any personal security, and he was going to go somewhere, and he had his son with him, I believe. And this man who was very clearly mentally ill came up and shot him. And fortunately, there was a doctor there, and this doctor made things a lot worse. James Garfield should have survived the assassination attempt. The wound itself, like where he was shot, is something he should have survived. But he got sepsis from the wound. He lingered for 5 months and then died. Not a spoiler, it's history, come on. And I cried like you wouldn't believe. Like, I knew what was happening and I still sobbed. Love Destiny of the Republic. Okay, less than a minute to go with my last one. So the next one is one I read several years ago, and I do think that more people need to read it because it's going to sound a little political, but it's really not. It's really just a wonderful story. It's called My Beloved World by Sonia Sotomayor. You can get it in English or Spanish. Sonia Sotomayor is, of course, a Supreme Court justice, and this is just the story of her life. Lots of times when you get these books, they are like, this is my political philosophy, blah, blah, blah. No, this is the story of her life. I've heard it compared very appropriately to A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. She was a Puerto Rican girl from New York who grew up in, lower income at least. And this is just about her life growing up in that. And it was just so delightful, so delightful. There is really no political thing in there. So anyone can read this book. And I highly recommend that you do. Oh, that's it. 5 minutes. I think I finished that right on the button. So if you celebrate Independence Day, I hope you had a great day. I have a conflicted view of this holiday right now, let's just say, kind of where our country is. And, but I do like reading about American history and people from American history. So I hope that some of these books worked for you. And if you have any recommendations for me, especially historical fiction set in the United States, let me know down below because I'm always looking for more. I tend to do really well with English historical fiction because I have a degree in English history, but I'm always looking for more American historical fiction. So put that down below for me and like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.